good all the time, and all are welcome, safe, and loved. Thank you for joining us today from your homes, from our homes, so as we can be here together virtually. My name is Helen Wright, and I will be the worship leader today, and I'm also the speaker today as the ministry coordinator. Whether you're a newcomer or a regular Unity viewer, please know that you can find us virtually at unityoflascruces.org, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can send your email address to unitylascruces@gmail.com so that we can send you the weekly information and updates. You may also find our contact information on the slide that Ken will post at the end of this service. And so for a few words of gratitude and good news. Thank you for the ongoing work of the Unity of Las Cruces board, and for the social media outreach, for the prayer chaplaincy, for speakers and singers and musicians, those that are praying anonymously, for helpers, for donors, for volunteers. And thank you, especially you, for your prayers and affirmations and visualizations. It really makes a difference energetically. It raises the love and the light and healing and energy of our spiritual community here in Las Cruces, of the planet and of the universe. So it makes a difference. And thank you for answering the call to be here on this call this morning. And thank you, Zoom, for allowing this. We will be back in the CSL sanctuary for our in-person services again whenever it is safe to do so. But meanwhile, we continue to connect. Our church is alive. Our spiritual community is alive in our hearts, our minds, and our connection here. And now for good news with a smile. I've got two images that Ken will upload to our screen. So the first is the picture of the postcard that was mailed out, and I trust and I hope that the mail service didn't disfigure the card too much. If anyone wants a pristine one, I do have a few left. But this was a gift from Mark Hicks, and he actually organized and set up the whole of Truth Unity with its resources. And he was asking what was his to do in these difficult times. And his answer through prayer was that he was to produce the prayer for faith, and to get it into as many hands within Unity congregations as possible. So he himself had this produced with the beautiful front, the prayer for faith, which I love, and then on the back he individualized it for our ministry and mailed them to me so as I could mail them all out to you. And he really was guided to share this prayer that is so well loved within Unity, and to share this prayer now, because his belief is that this prayer will get us through this situation. So that was the whole story behind mailing out the postcard, and I didn't write all over it because I felt it was perfect the way it is. So that's the story for that. And our next slide. This is the image that I love to see, that our energetic heart, even with social distancing, our energetic heart connects across the feet, the miles, the distance, the continents, and I don't believe there's any limit to how far the energetic heart could reach out and touch another human being when we're in that field of love. And scientists have certainly proved that it's maybe 6 feet, maybe 12 feet. So this is our good news for the day, that the energetic heart is not affected at all by social distancing. The energetic heart, the spiritual heart, connects in love. Thank you. So if you have some good news to share, please share your favorite good news for next Sunday. You can just send it to unitylascruces@gmail.com. And then now I'd like to lead us into our opening prayer. So if you take a few moments to ground yourself, center yourself, connect your feet with the earth, the floor beneath you. Connect your heart with divine love and your mind with divine mind. And breathe in the breath of God. Breathe in life. And just focus on your breathing for a few breaths as we settle in for prayer. Spirit of the living, loving God, we give thanks for this day. We give this thanks for this opportunity to be together again in our spiritual community. And this morning we especially hold all those that more recently need to be held in your prayer and your protection and your love and your healing energy. So we're praying and holding in prayer Daniel and Jane McNeil, giving thanks for their loving generosity and caring for taking their neighbour Darla to the hospital. We're also holding in prayer especially Tammy and John Powers and their love and their journey to get John some medical help after he hurt his knee. And we can see our prayers extending to all of those who work in hospitals all around the world, filling them with the power of protection of God's love and protection in all situations. And we can see our prayers going out to enfold in love and caring all of those that need to be in a hospital for whatever reason, or to be at any medical centre, holding everyone in prayer of healing, of love, of protection, of well-being. And we give thanks for that loving divine presence within all of us this morning, holding us all in our prayer and our heart-centered connection. And for all of this, we are truly grateful. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. So this is the time in our service when we look forward to hearing Steve Gasco, doer of good, as he shares with us the daily word and the daily affirmation.
Happy Sunday. We have a happy Sunday, May the 24th, 2020. Our topic today is faith. The biblical reading today comes from Matthew 25, verse 21. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. And our affirmation today is, I invest my faith only in possibilities for good. The parable of the talents in the Gospel of Matthew tells the story of a wealthy man entrusting sums of money to 3 of his servants before leaving on a journey. When the man returns, he praises and rewards the 2 servants who, through wise investments, have doubled the funds entrusted to them. A 3rd servant who, acting in fear, hid the money entrusted to him, receives no reward. The divine faculty of faith that is part of my spiritual inheritance is more valuable than money. I invest my faith wisely by believing and trusting that possibilities for good are present, even where good has not yet manifested, and I act on that belief. My positivity, directed faith brings rich rewards in consciousness. In our affirmation together, I invest my faith only in possibilities for good. And so it is.
Thank you, Steve. And now we have our beloved Reverend Tanya with the intention statement for today.
Our intention statement: to create a sacred space where all who enter feel the presence of God, the joy of God, where all feel welcome, safe, and loved.
Thank you, Reverend Tanya. On my order of service, it now says introduce the speaker. So it feels a little bit weird introducing myself. Today I thought that I would share that I have really wanted to share words that are uplifting and meaningful ever since I was about 16. And I was attending a girls' grammar school back in England. And the girls' grammar school hall, we would meet for prayers and singing before any of the classes for the day. It looked a little bit like a scene out of Harry Potter. And I was a very gawky, shy teenager. Certainly didn't want to speak in public, except for at our morning church service, where I would gladly volunteer to go up onto the podium and share a poem or share some words of wisdom. So being here is truly a gift for which I'm very grateful on this spiritual path that I've been on. So without more ado, the title today is Better Together. And first of all, I'd like to take a reading from the Bible. And normally Unity uses the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible, but today I chose the New International Version because of the words. So Jeremiah, I love Jeremiah, 31, verse 33. This is the covenant I will make with the people of Israel after that time, declares the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. And opening that up a little bit more in context, this is embedded in the passage about a previous time where there had been grief and mourning, and this was turned into joy. So it reads from verse 32, "It will not be like my covenant I made with their fathers when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. A covenant they broke, though I was their husband to them, declares the Lord. But this is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, declares the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and inscribe it on their hearts, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will each man teach his neighbor or his brother, saying, 'Know the Lord,' because they will all know me, from the least to the greatest, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquities, and I will remember their sins no more." And for me, this is immediately a personal, metaphysical meaning springs out of that, in that God is talking about direct connection and the direct communion that we have with God, and that God's law is in our minds, and it is written on our hearts. So when I reflect on that, what law is written on our hearts? What would you want to be written on your heart? And the answer that comes to me is the law of love. So who is better together? God and her people are better together. I've been reading two books, and they're by David McArthur, who was actually a Unity minister, and he worked at HeartMath. And so these two books are The Spiritual Heart, and that talks about accessing the wisdom that manifests your heart desires. And the second book I've been looking at is The Intelligent Heart, and that's written by Reverend David McArthur and his father. So both of these are HeartMath-based books. So they're both looking at how we access the spiritual heart and how we can work with the heart and the wisdom of the heart. And like Jeremiah, looking back on what had been a tough time for the people of Israel and affirming a new covenant between God and his people, David McArthur affirms a new deal, that of heart-based living. He writes, "Something extraordinary and beautiful is taking place. We are growing, changing, and transforming at super high speed. We are reinventing ourselves, becoming conscious co-creators, fueled by self-empowered effort. Consciousness is morphing, New awareness is manifesting. Psychology paradigms are shifting. Systemic changes are beginning to take place. And new solutions to some of our global issues are coming into view. I think that's so relevant for today, and it was written in 2016. He goes on to say, a new heart-based world is emerging. The co-creation of a heart-based world starts with us. And in the book, The Intelligent Heart, by David and his father, they refer to some of the Edgar Cayce readings. And one of them is about love. Cayce says, to live love is to be love. For love is law, and law is love. And David McArthur states that love transforms. He goes on to say that when we love, we put the law of love into operation. However, love as a philosophical concept does not bring about transformation. Many people have studied and talked and thought about love without experiencing its transformative power. The law is not about the concept of love transformed and transforming, rather the experience of love. The movement of love through our hearts causes transformation. And David had been a lawyer, a unity minister, and he'd been a director on the HeartMath Institute. I met him personally at the Great Lakes Unity Regional Convention about 18 months ago, I think. And he really gave such powerful examples about heart-based spirituality and heart-based ministry. HeartMath talks a lot about the relationship of heart and brain. When the physical heart is in coherence, there is peace in the body and there is clarity of the brain. We can hear the wisdom and compassion of the spiritual heart, and we have clarity of mind. The two working together, we have access to wisdom, compassion, love, intuition, creative solutions to problems and experiences. So what is better together? The heart and the brain in coherence, the spiritual heart and the mind in partnership. The brain is described as having three parts or areas of development. There is the lizard brain at the back. It's the brainstem and cerebellum, and it's on autopilot. It deals with flight and fight. There is the mammal brain, which is the limbic system, kind of deep inside the brain and mid area, and that deals with emotions and memories and habits and attachments. And there's the human brain, the neocortex, and that deals with abstract thought, language, imagination, consciousness, reasoning, and rationalizing. So when we listen to our heart, what voices can get in the way? The lizard brain can get in the way because it's all about fight, flight, fight, fear, and autopilot responses. So when my water pipe burst in my apartment just over a week ago, and water is literally pouring in, got 3 inches deep, I think the lizard brain in me was reacting at first. I did know that I needed to go to prayer for help, so there is hope. And David gave an example of when his kids, he had to get his kids to school. His teenagers had been late in the morning, despite every encouragement not to be so. And they took extra time in the bathroom, and he was getting frustrated and they were getting frustrated. And the morning was running so late, they missed the bus to school. And it apparently was quite a long journey to get them to school. And he was getting mad. So he got in the car and he took time out to practice what he called as the wisdom of the heart and find another creative solution, because him getting mad and the kids getting mad and frustrated and worried about being late it wasn't helping. And lizard brain was talking. So what he found after the heart wisdom technique was that he needed to get to his work, yes, but his teenage children really needed to get to school, and there was more implications and consequences if they didn't get to school on time than there would be for him. So he was in a totally different place of peace and the wisdom of the heart. And he said to his children, okay, I will take you to school, but please could we have a contact where you make more effort in the morning? And he was loving and calm and forgiving and saying that in the morning, please can we have a better effort, that you don't miss the bus, that you do what you need to do in a timely manner. And so it was a win-win for the kids, for him, and for the whole experience, by getting out of lizard brain, out of that adrenaline response, and into a heart wisdom response of what's the best response here. The mammal brain is emotions, and it can be triggered by old memories and habits. And so we may be able to get to decision making, but we could be running old software, old patterns. And again, we may not be informed by the wisdom of the heart. The message might be going, last time something like this happened, I did blah, 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 blah. And again, the wisdom of the heart was blocked. And I would like to be informed by my human brain. I am a spiritual being having a physical experience as a human. I am not a lizard. So I would really like to be able to connect with that human brain and use the skills of language and abstract thought, the imagination, consciousness and reasoning and rationalizing, but have that in the highest expression. And I seek the wisdom and compassion of my spiritual heart. So, preparing for this talk, of course, I get practical opportunities to learn and to demonstrate what I'm preparing. It always works that way. So at the end of last week, as I say, living this talk and living them, I had practiced the heart wisdom tool in a certain situation. And I'll talk more about the heart wisdom tool later and in meditation. And when I use the technique, I totally transformed my body to peace and calm and listening. And the answer from the heart was that I really needed to communicate more clearly and truthfully and be open and vulnerable in a situation, to be centered, but to be able to take that risk and just speak my truth. And so I was given a wonderful opportunity several times for that at the end of last week. And looking at the date, I knew it was the 22nd. It was the new moon in Gemini, twins, better together. And I was so grateful to be able to demonstrate my human brain, mind, and spiritual heart coming together in balance for a better outcome. So what is better together? The brain and the physical heart in coherence, mind and spiritual heart working together with the law of love. Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity in the Revealing Word, looks at the metaphysical meaning of heart. And he talks about the heart is love, the affectional consciousness in human. It's the faculty through which man receives love from being, pure being. The heart, however, is the visible expression of an invisible center of consciousness. It is the center from which divine substance is poured forth. Everyone using her or his heart center when he sends out a loving thought. Now, I think pretty much you all know that I love Cher and Cher's music. I do love other music, and I love The Phantom of the Opera, and there's a sequel called Love Never Dies. I think I like that even better, and it's by Andrew Lloyd Webber. In the sequel, Christine, who is the main character in both of those movies, she's talking to her son, and her son is actually the son of herself and the Phantom of the Opera. And she's talking about the Phantom of the Opera, of course, as you know, was disfigured. And she's trying to explain to her son, he doesn't know that the Phantom is his father, but she's talking about the experience of looking with your heart. And the words of one of the songs is, look with your heart and not with your eyes. The heart understands, and the heart never lies. Believe what it feels and trust what it shows. Look with your heart. The heart always knows. Love is not always beautiful, not at the start, but open your arms and close your eyes tight. Look with your heart, and when it finds love, your heart will be right. So I love this concept of looking with my heart, not with my eyes. And listening to Lillian Pilot's talk last week, which I really enjoyed, she talked about a photo. And in that photo, each person in her family was having a unique experience. And so I'd like to sort of bounce off that idea. And Ken, if you could show the photo looking out of the back of my apartment window. So out of the back of my apartment, this is a photo of what I see. And so as I talk, you can have a look at this photo, and I just invite you to look at it and see. If you were coming from your lizard brain, what would you see? If you're looking with your heart and not with your eyes, what do you see? And so sometimes when I am not centered and not in my heart space, I can look out of this window and I can see a mess. I can see old cars, an old motorhome, disorder and swimming pools and a trampoline, garbage on a trailer really close to my apartment. I can see strangers, I can see threat, I can see risk. And can you see how that's the lizard brain talking? The minute I see a frightening or scary world around me or scary universe, it's lizard talk, survival talk. When I look with my heart, I see sunflowers that I planted in very poor soil. And the ground really looks like concrete or, smashed concrete. It doesn't really look like soil, a fertile place. But if you look at their life force in the foreground and their energy, they're exuding this life force. They're growing, they're beautiful. I see a newly planted tree by the swimming pool. I can see cactus plants. And then I see families when they come out, and families are coming together to provide an enrichment for their children who are at home and not going to school. I see families outside sitting and playing with their children in the cool of the evening. I see people living just like my sunflowers in a poorer soil, but they are living life energy and being the best expression that they can be. Whether it's in a motorhome or a camper or a broken down house, they're sharing that life force, the law of love, and they are all being better together. Looking with my heart and not with my eyes, I see love, togetherness in this world. I see a universe that is loving, not scary. I see a universe that is loving, and this worldwide experience is of love and togetherness. So thank you. We can take down that slide. And how do we access this spiritual heart on a regular basis? How do we listen to the wisdom of our spiritual heart? And David McArthur from HeartMath, he talks about a heart wisdom tool. And it's first of all touch. Touch where your heart is, your physical heart, and connect with your physical heart. Breathe as if you're breathing in and out through the physical heart. And we know that isn't actually a physiological thing, but energetically just focus on breathing in and out of your heart. And then the next step is to bring to mind an experience of love. And for me, it's the most consistent image I can bring to mind is of my beautiful Earl or my beautiful Puma, my cats, because animals are they love unconditionally. I can bring them to mind and I feel a love feeling, and that connects me with the greater feeling of love, of divine love. And then when I'm in that heart space, connected through the physical heart to the spiritual heart, I can ask sincerely, openly, being vulnerable to my own question, what is a more effective response in this situation? And then I listen. HeartMath, if you're familiar with the work, they often refer to this as a technique called freeze frame. But I like the way that David McArthur explains this as the heart wisdom tool. So from that, I want to lead into a daily word reading from, I think, a week ago called Understanding. I am open and receptive to the knowing presence within me. My heart carries within it all of the wisdom of my evolving soul, which transcends time and space. I can trust my heart's wisdom to reveal to me whatever I need to know. As I listen to the knowing deep in my heart, I discover a new understanding of what is mine to do, and I find the strength to carry it out. I quiet myself and focus my awareness on the powerful yet gentle beating of my physical heart, which brings my attention to my spiritual heart's wisdom. This wisdom is precious, and I place my trust in it. In this sacred space, I open myself to receive answers that will be revealed to me as I go about my day. I relax into the knowing presence within me and allow my understanding to unfold. So who and what are better together? This wisdom of the heart in my life and my life are better together. James Dillet Freeman wrote a book. It was called Angels Sing in Me. It was about this particular section is about life, and it's about a jigsaw puzzle in the chapter of life. And he's really talking metaphysically. And he says that life is much like a jigsaw puzzle. Many of us look at the huge pile of jumbled pieces on a puzzle piled up on the table. Some pieces are upside down, turned around. Mostly they're hidden in the pile, so we only see the pieces on the surface. He says that some of us scarcely examine the puzzle, but just stumble through the higgledy-piggledy disorder of day-to-day existence. Some of us find sections put together that were put together by someone else, perhaps a long time ago, and they accept or are satisfied with what was found. And they intone, I have faith that this is what the puzzle means. And some of us look for pieces with straight edges and complete the rim, these pieces being the easiest to work with. And we may find and feel that we have found the meaning of it, even if it is only a rim kind of meaning. And others spend our lifetime piecing pieces of meaning together, sometimes laboriously and sometimes by good fortune and sometimes by insight. When I was at Sunny Acres RV Park, there was a table with puzzles on it in the laundry room. And so being a person that really has enjoyed doing jigsaw puzzles, even without my glasses, I would have sudden inspirations to pick up the perfect piece, or maybe 2 or 3 pieces that would actually go and fit perfectly in the puzzle. As we catch a glimpse, this is James Dillet Freeman, as we catch a glimpse of, dare we say what? As long as we know that whatever we say, as we work on with the puzzle, we will have more to say. If what we have found seems to be flowers, we will find as we work on that what looked to be flowers were really the plumage of birds. But further along, we will see that whatever we took to be birds is more likely clouds glowing in the sun. But later yet, we see what seemed to be clouds is in reality angels. And after angels, what? He says, the creative spirit of life has not given us a cheap puzzle to pass an easy hour. This life is many-dimensional and ever-changing. Whatever we make it out to be, it will be yet more. And I relate this sort of metaphysical meaning of both life and meanings and interpretations, but also the pieces themselves as they fit together, like us, in a bigger creation of oneness. And as we express our unique part of the web of life, our unique qualities look like the pieces of a puzzle that contribute to the whole, and each of us matters. Have you ever experienced a 5,000-piece puzzle when 1 or 2 pieces are missing? The whole puzzle is not complete, and we are 8 billion-piece puzzle of humanity, better together. Who are we? What are we? Who and what are better together? God and her people, brain and heart, mind and the spiritual heart. And I found this title for this talk and was inspired by Unity Worldwide Ministries Board with their logo saying serving today's ministries with purpose. They go on to say that our Unity Worldwide Ministries board and central office staff have started a strategic planning process to help us better serve you. It is called the Better Together Project. With John Wimberley as our coach and consultant, we intend to get clarity on the purpose of our Unity Worldwide Ministries central office and board. All success brings with the clarity of purpose, then goals and strategies will follow. So Unity Worldwide Ministries, better together. And recently I got an email, and apparently Care Credit, which is a credit card for pet veterinary practices and others, they say that with Care Credit and Pet's Best Pet Health Insurance, we are better together. So this message kept popping up all over that I kept seeing, better together. The pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, musicians in an orchestra, which are diminished if even one or two of the pieces or instruments are missing. A minister and the ministry and congregation, better together. A football team with its fans, better together. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and it was first coined by the philosopher Aristotle. This phrase aptly defines the modern concept of synergy. For everyone who's played team sports, it echoes the TEAM acronym. Together, everyone achieves more. Mother Teresa, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things. And Helen Keller, alone we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. We are better together. And after our meditation, you'll be hearing a beautiful song from Barry and Max, and that's entitled Together. And I just wanted to read the chorus of that. Together we'll get through this. Together, no matter what it is. There's no valley too deep, no river too wide, no mountain too steep. We can't climb together. Together, we got all we need. And you'll hear the whole song shortly. So the conclusion of my talk is that, we, all of us, humanity, is better together. So now I'd like to lead us in meditation. If you take just a few moments to prepare for meditation. And we're going to be using our heart wisdom tool. So just quietly as you sit, place your hand over where your heart is, over on the left side of your chest, over where your physical heart is. You may be able to connect with your heartbeat. And then connecting with our physical heart, follow your breath and breathe as if you're breathing into your heart, life-giving oxygen, and breathing out from your heart, carbon dioxide, and breathing in life, breathing out what no longer serves. So you're touching and connected to your heart. You're breathing in and out through your heart. And then making the connection with your spiritual heart as you bring to mind a memory of a place, a person, a pet, anything and anyone and anywhere that fills your heart with love. Filling and filling your heart with this love feeling for another being. And as you have this powerful memory of love, just feel into it. Really feel and hold that feeling of love. And knowing that as you feel that, you are connecting with the divine energy field of divine love. So connected with the divine love and gently settled in your heart. And then sincerely ask, in any situation in your life at the moment, just bring one to mind where you would love to have more wisdom from the spiritual heart. Just take a moment. It doesn't matter how small, how big, just a situation, an area of inquiry, and asking, what is a more effective response to this situation? What is a more effective response in this situation? And with this question, connecting with a spiritual heart, connecting with this, the wisdom of the spiritual heart. And with that, we take that question, that connection with the love, the divine field, into a few moments of silence. And as you gently bring yourself back from the silence, gently come back into your surroundings, be more aware of your surroundings. Just be aware of your spiritual heart and its wisdom. There may be some wisdom from the heart immediately, or it may unfold over the next few minutes or hours or days. But there will be wisdom from the heart. Just observe what your heart, your spiritual heart, is revealing to you. Listen to your heart. And welcome its wisdom and its revelation in your life. And so it is. So staying in that heart space, that heart-centered connection, now we're going to have some beautiful special music from Unity of Las Cruces music director Barry Shaw on piano and soloist Max Contreras. And they are singing a song that Barry went out and bought the music for this because I'd seen it on YouTube, and it really is, I invite you into the delight. It really is a beautiful piece of music, and their interpretation is exquisite. So now with Barry and Max.
I can see the panic in your eyes, and I know you can see it in mine. We've been through some crazy things before, but nothing like this. You know I've always got a lot to say, but this has left me nothing but afraid. And I've got one thing I'm holding on to, and it's your hand. 'Cause I believe together we'll get through this. Together, no matter what it is. There's no valley too deep, no river too wide, no mountain too steep. We can climb together, we're all we need. Together, just watch and see. We're gonna make it come what may. Nothing can break us if we stay together. start to fight an enemy, when the sky is too dark to see, and we can even start to believe fighting with each other. But if we really look deep enough, I believe we can find the love. And when this storm is finally past, we'll see that all we have is what we have together. We'll get through this together, no matter what it is. There's no valley too deep, no river too wide, no mountain too steep. We can climb together, we got all we need. Together, just watch and see. We're gonna make it come what may. Nothing can break us if we stay together. If we stay together. We're gonna get to the other side. You and I, you and I. We'll look back from the other side, knowing we made it together. We're gonna get to the other side. You and I, you and I. We'll look back from the other side, knowing we made it together. We'll get through this together, no matter what it is. There's no valley too deep, no river too wide, no mountain too steep that we can climb together. We got all we need. Together, just watch and see. We're gonna make it come what may. Nothing can break us if we stay together. We'll get through this together. We'll get through this together.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Max. It really is an exquisite interpretation of a song. That's a current song that was written for our situation today with COVID-19. And I found it on YouTube, and it was sung by Stephen, I think it was created by Stephen Curtis Chapman, with his beautiful interpretation with Max and Barry. So next in our service, it is our prayer for faith and announcements with Kay Brilliant.
Welcome to Unity of Las Cruces, where we know that God is good all the time. Please join me in prayer as we affirm our prayer of faith. God is my help in every need. God does my every hunger feed. God dwells within me, guides my way through every moment, night and day. I now am wise, I now am true, patient, kind, and loving too. All things I am, can do and be, through Christ, the truth that is in me. God is my health, I can't be sick. God is my strength, unfailing quick. God is my all, I know no fear, since God and love and truth are here. Amen. We have a couple of announcements. I want to remind you that while we are not physically with one another, we are always together under the light of God, that you can send your support, your checks, your gifts, your tithe to Unity of Las Cruces, P.O. Box 1143, that's Las Cruces, New Mexico, 88004. And tithing is a part of our spiritual discipline and our spiritual growth. So let's keep the abundance flowing. That's how it works. We give, that money goes to others with love. We give with love. We send it out in love. And of course, then love comes right back to us. And also, in addition, I want to remind you that you can offer a prayer request in any number of ways. Through Unity, Silent Unity, you can call with a prayer request, you can send mail, as we do when we're together and we do the little sheets of paper, we mail that directly to Silent Unity. Or you can submit an online prayer request form, and all of that information is on your email, or you might remember this is where all of that information is, and you can do that. What I found really exciting is I have an Alexa, and now I can ask her to pray. Alexa, open positive prayer, and then you can ask for a specific prayer topic. If you don't have an Alexa, you can always find relief and solace in your own prayer, and you all know how to do that.
Thank you, Kay. And now our prosperity affirmation with Jen Hampton.
Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
And then we have our weekly tithe. And this week, our Unity of Las Cruces, we are tithing to UFC, who have been, David and the whole UFC have been so supportive in Reverend Tanya's life and through Reverend Tanya into our lives and spiritual community. So we give thanks for David and we give thanks for the United Fellowship Chapel. We have our affirmation for unity with Jane Ray.
Good morning. This is Jane Ray with the Affirmation for Unity. Guided by infinite love and wisdom, and with God as our source, we now behold unlimited possibilities as Unity of Las Cruces grows and prospers.
And our prayer for protection with Kay and Virginia Brilliant.
Please join us as we affirm the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.
Thank you everyone for joining together in this Sunday celebration service. Next week's speaker, we look forward to seeing and hearing Reverend Terry, and she's going to be talking about watch your mouth. And I believe she'll be talking about mind action, law of mind action, and the importance of words. So looking forward to Reverend Terry next week. Our next slide is, I'm continuing the Daily Word, the WWW. Welcome to the Daily Word on Wednesdays. And we meet and we share the Daily Word and we share how that is showing up for us in our lives. And then we have a closing prayer. So it's just a nice opportunity to see each other and get together midweek. So you're all welcome. Our speakers for the month, we will be concluding the month with Reverend Terry, and then we have a wonderful selection of speakers for you next month in June. Please reach out to each other this week. If you need someone's contact number, just contact us at Unity Las Cruces. And you may have to still continue to stay at home, but you don't have to be alone. So reach out to each other, reach out to us. You are loved, and we will be together again physically soon, whenever that is. Thank you for attending this week's virtual Sunday service celebration, and you're welcome to stay after the service to say hi and connect with each other. And now we have Barry and Max, who are singing our closing song, which is Let There Be Peace on Earth.
peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you. Blessings to everyone. Be well, be safe. Have a good week. And I just have to do this. Live long and prosper, as Spock would say. Thank you.